All right, welcome back. The good news is he managed to get through traffic, so he's in studio. Provincial Liberal leader Charles Milliard, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And getting your way here from downtown. So look, yesterday you made this big announcement at a bookstore in Verdun, something you had pitched earlier about, basically your language situation, as far as French is concerned anyway, the big plan, the big reveal, what your plan was. And a lot of people had said, well, okay, we need to know what that is. I'm going to tell you something. If you check the French press this morning, and I'm sure you did, between La Presse, between Le Devoir, between the Journal de Montréal, your announcement basically got nothing. It's not even on the front page. At the bottom, if you're scrolling down online, it did not make much of an impact in French. And this is what it was designed for. Yes, it's in the Gazette, which is great. But the argument then is, you know what? Much as I like Charles Milliard, much as, and I'm saying now for people we talk to, right, who want you to do well because they're not going to vote CAQ and they're not going to vote PQ, something seems to be lacking. So I want you to react because we have analysts on the show every day. We talk about you from time to time.
Yes.
First, it was the situation.
I know that.
Okay. It was the PQ calling you out last week. Some people said you shouldn't have reacted. You should have reacted. You waited too long to react. Whatever. That's fine. With respect to overall, David Hertel is a former Liberal minister, provincial Liberal minister. We talked about Charles Milliard the other day. I want you to hear what he said.
I don't know if it's him or who he's surrounded himself with in terms of a strategic communications team, but he simply has yet to define himself. Can you tell me what Charles Milliard really stands for?
Fair.
That's an interesting point from my friend David. I'm very happy to be with you today, Aaron. I think I respectfully disagree with you on the coverage of the plan because I've been hearing about that in the last 24 hours very positively in the French press with many analysts. Is it as popular as what Mr. Trump is doing in France? Maybe not, but I think it's but I think it's a good plan. And one of the headlines that I read from the English press was books, investment, change of tone, and I think it's a good summary of that plan. I think it finds the right balance between protecting, promoting, and respecting both French and Quebecers. As to the opinion on myself, I mean, I'm in the political arena. I am the man in the arena, so I'm more than open to receive, constructive criticism. I'm not open to false allegations like Mr. Plamondon did a couple of days ago. I'm on the campaign trail. I'm day in, day out on working on that. I'm meeting Quebecers in the next weeks. They'll get to know me better. I know that a lot of Quebecers don't know me yet, so they cannot like someone they don't know. I've been in that arena for the past 4 months only. So there's a lot of work. I recognize that, and I'm reading analysts, but not all of them. But again, I'm very proud of what we're doing right now, and I'm proud of the team that I'm recruiting. And this is about me, but this is also about the team and the program.
So there have been some high-profile announcements as people who'll be running for the Liberals. I get that. I'm referring to this press conference the other day. We can sit. We're not going to have a discussion over whether you got good press or bad press. I didn't see it this morning. And looking, I'm sure the analysts have something different to say. James Meny, who's one of our analysts, when this story came up about you announcing, this new plan, your path forward for French and protecting French, and the fact that it got so little reaction, I want you to hear what he said. Okay.
One of the first things that perhaps Charles Milliard should do in terms of broadening his French language policy, I would take every single one of the people who are involved in his campaign right now, call them into a room, ideally today, and say, you're fired. It seems that Charles Milliard is establishing the persona of the guy you don't have to pay attention to in this campaign.
Okay. You're a rookie. This is your first time at it, right? I understand that. Some people might say it's also Christine Frichette's first time at it. I know she has a bigger podium as the premier. She's gotten a lot of attention. You have not.
Well, she was part of a government that I think most of us agree that we need to get rid of for first. Second, I'm in the political arena again. A lot of people have opinions, experiences, and we're following our plan. We proposed yesterday a very robust and intelligent plan. We're going to be proposing more plans on immigration, on the economy, on all the, the principal, subjects and topics that Quebecers want to hear about. And, the only survey that I want to win is the one on October 5th, and that's the only one that matters.
I almost want to ask you, in this plan that you announced yesterday, was there too much in this plan? It's 7 different points that you've laid out here, which at some point you're looking at going, wait a sec. Can we focus on 1 or 2? There's a lot in here.
There is a lot, and I'm very proud of it, and that's why it took some time. So a lot of people were asking about my plan in the past weeks, and I said, wait, I'm going to have something interesting to present, and here it is, more than 30 different initiatives. A lot of them are very positive, are very about, bringing Quebecers, all Quebecers together towards the protection and the promotion of French. And that includes the English-speaking community as well. So I'm not ashamed of having a lot of initiatives when it comes to French.
You used the word in the announcement yesterday again, and you've used it about changing tone. Yes. And I thought as soon as I read that, wait, are you Christine Frechette? That was what she said when she talked to Anglo, saying, I'm going to set a new tone. Yeah. You're using the same sort of description. Now, who are you talking to, anglophones or francophones? You
very much know that I've been using that phrase, change of tone, many times with you here at CJAD, also on your podcast. The CAQ is not, it will not be able to change the tone. They have been dividing, the English and French-speaking communities for the past 8 years. They have tried and made a lot of political gains on your back, and I think it needs to change. So she's coming last minute at midnight, asking for redemption from the English-speaking community. Well, hopefully the community will remember what happened in the past 8 years and will hear what we are proposing with this plan. And I think there's a lot of initiatives that will appeal to all Quebecers. And I'm very proud of it. And the caucus, all our M&As, we've been going through lengthy discussions on that, and they are all behind me on that. So I think it's great news.
So it's interesting. So you bring up Christine Frechette, and I would say earlier, this is yesterday, $20 million going to McGill, Concordia, and Bishops. And I looked at that and I said, that's great, except this government cost them over $100 million by making this move in the first place. I didn't hear a lot of reaction to that. This seems to be a step for them in the right direction. Here's $20 million going to English universities. Is it?
Well, obviously, it's too little, too late when it comes to the relationship between the CAQ and the English-speaking universities. But I think it's a great announcement, and I agree with it. But honestly, they cost more than they gave yesterday, as you mentioned. So I've been saying that for a long time, that we need to be proud of our 3 English-speaking universities. I used to teach at one of them in Lennoxville, as you know. So the CAQ has no credibility when it comes to these institutions.
If you form a government, I said about Christine Frechette's interview the other day, it's all tone. I'm not looking for tone. I'm looking for action, as so many people are. Yep. There is no action in there. This was a move. If you form a government, would you go back and say, you know what was done to McGill, Concordia, and Bishops is unfair and unnecessary and does nothing to protect and promote French, and rescind that?
So just to be precise about the tuition fees, as an example, or what are you referring to?
The out-of-towns, which is what cost them the money. The fact that out-of-town students, of course, would have to pay more money. It's cost jobs at all 3 of those universities by virtue of that. Would you change that?
Yeah, we would reverse that. I've been very clear about that since my first leadership race. Okay. So we need to be proud of those institutions. They are cultural and educational gems for Quebec. And so are the French-speaking universities as well. If we want to have our kids get a better life, they need a better education, and they need access to very qualified institutions.
You mentioned something in this plan that you introduced yesterday on CJEPs as well. What is that?
Well, the main point is that we are actually safeguarding the English-speaking CJEP, and we are keeping the actual balance that we have in Quebec right now, which is, as you know the proportions we have right now. So we want to protect that, because obviously the point of the CAQ was to reduce year after year the number of students, and I think we are for the freedom of choice. So I want French-speaking students that want to go to English-speaking CJEP to be able to do so, as long as there are spaces available. And if we get more students in the CJEP networks in general, let's take an example, 10,000 more students. Well, both networks will be able to grow in the same proportion. I think it's great news.
We're very late. I want to ask you this. In your plan, you say you would target areas where French is considered fragile, including downtown Montreal. What does that mean?
Well, not including. The fact is that I'm going to ask the OQLF to work with the government to determine some, in French I say zones fragilisées, so fragile areas, if I can say, where French should be maybe more taken care of or more pampered. So I mentioned downtown Montreal because, I think it might be one of the regions, and we're going to have more specific tools, programs, and initiatives with business community, with business organizations, and with community organizations so that we can have a better appreciation of the French language everywhere in Quebec.
Can you say now publicly you're going to tell the OQLF that the word nosh is okay and that they have more important things to do?
Well, I think they've been hearing that for both Mrs. Frechette and myself in the past 2 days, so we need a change of tone with the OQLF, but we should not blame them. They are doing what they are being asked to by the government, hence the need to change this government in Quebec.
But this is a mistake on the word nosh? Would you make them say this?
I think this is a mistake, and so was the Burgundy Lion controversy, quote unquote, and the Go Abs Go, of course.
I wish we had more time. I know you're busy. I thank you so much. I hope we'll get a chance.
You know what? I'll come back.
I appreciate that.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.